What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. So if you've been following along on Project Mixed Up Boss, I'm sorry. I know that this thing has taken a long time to complete. I was actually looking through my Facebook timeline yesterday, and it's almost been a whole year since I went down to Greg's to pick these heads up. But nevertheless, I can see the light at the end of the tunnel finally. So what we're going to do today is I'm going to take these heads over to David Vizard here, and I'm going to do the necessary work. Put the coolant crossover holes in it, relieve the rocker stand bosses for the valve springs. And I thought about doing it here, but I think it would just serve me best to do it at David's for the sake of space and time and effort. And plus I get to hang out with DV. So I'm going to load these things up and head to David's. Alright, so we just pulled up to David's. Let's go see what he's into this morning. Well, it ain't really morning. I think it's about 12:30. So let's go say hey to David. You know, on the way over here, I was thinking that cylinder head, well, actually both cylinder heads are worth about 5 times the amount that I paid for this $800 Crown Vic. So put it in perspective, the cargo's worth more than the car. David's probably working on a video or doing something pretty cool. He's building onto his shop here. What's going on, David?
Oh, I'm just starting some input from the cylinder head flow test I just done. Hey, pull up a chair, Andy, sit down.
So, I know you're aware of what we got to do to my cylinder heads,
Well,
but what have you been working on today?
You know, I'm not sure if I should mention this or not, but maybe I'll get some controversy going, right? I'm working on an electromagnetically boosted intake port.
Do what?
An electromagnetically boosted intake port, and it's still early days yet, but
Showing promise?
yeah, this is something none of the cup cars nor the pro stock guys know about.
Alright, time out. So for any of my viewers that just come on board to my channel and that have been watching, this is David Vizard. If you want to get some hardcore engine tech, I highly suggest that you go over to David Vizard Performance and subscribe to his channel. Hit the bell and all that, because he does some really cool things on his channel. And in fact, while I'm over here, because, well, you know what I've got to do to the heads, but we're going to try the Hammerhead Performance Heads
On our new Dreadnought bench.
Yeah.
Right, because our Superflow bench over there, my trusty old Superflow bench, I don't know how old that is now.
You've had it for a while. You've had that thing for a while.
Yeah. It won't deal with the Hammerhead ports, right? We are looking at something that by the time we've finished,
well overtaxed what the Superflow can be capable of doing.
So far on this one, we've flowed stuff up to about 800 CFM at 1 inch lift.
Got a little swirl needle in there.
1.2 inches lift.
Yeah. So that'll be pretty cool. So I'm going to bring the heads in. We'll put them on the table, and then we'll talk about what we get.
And let's do that, right? So.
All right. So we got the heads on the bench here. So what we're going to do is talk about what we've got to do to modify them to make them suitable for what we're doing.
Well, that's going to involve plumbing this in somewhere around here. Maybe could be as far back as there. So that's a bit of milling there, and a 1/2 inch, that's 1/2 inch thread, right?
Yeah.
Pipe thread in there. And that's because this hole won't be accessible when the manifold's on, right?
Yeah, and the other thing, and I pointed it out, it's kind of hard. I'll just insert a picture so you can see the interference on the rocker boss. But what were you telling me about the chamber? Because we were talking about the potential of these heads.
Now, I think it would be a good idea to give the viewer a bit about Greg's background, right? Greg's the guy that designed these heads. Now, what I'd like to point out here is that initially, when you look at this, you think, well, it's only a 2.25 valve, right? That's big for a small block Ford, right? It's almost as big as a regular big block Chevy.
Right.
Right, but here's the deal. The way this is done with a Hemi style chamber is there's no shrouding.
Yeah.
Right? So this valve here at low and mid lift acts as if it's about 2.45 inches.
And that's huge.
Yes.
And that goes right in line with the video that you just posted on your channel about the #1 restriction in the port.
Right. And so although this is not, in quotes, a race head, the way that Greg's done it is you can bolt up commonly available parts, right?
Yeah.
So what manifold are you intending to put on here?
Well, you know, normally a Windsor style intake, like that Windsor tunnel ram we have, would go on there, but I'm putting a Cleveland tunnel ram on there for the state.
Oh, yeah.
You remember that?
I remember that, yes. Right, but it's an off-the-shelf manifold.
Right, it's nothing this head specific.
A bit of tweaking, and you can adapt it.
Right.
Right, now, here's my point on this, right? It isn't a race head,
right,
but it's damn close to it, right? And it has a convenience that very few race heads have. So, my thinking on this head is that it's going to work Jim Dandy.
Yeah, we were really impressed when we put it on the flow bench and it flowed 395 CFM out of the box.
Yeah.
But the most important thing was the port energy was pretty good. Now, it can be improved upon, but it was really good for an as-cast head.
Really good might be a slight
that's kind of mild. Let me rephrase that.
Yes, it flows like a cup car head.
Yeah.
Out of the box as cast.
Yeah, you can't beat
so
that.
When I say it's almost a race head, that's not just I'm saying that just for the sake of it.
Yeah.
This here has flow figures that at low lift will beat most NASCAR heads. At high lift, not quite. But if you had to make horsepower on the street, right, with a limited compression ratio and a sensible cam, this would probably match or exceed a good cup car head.
So there you have it, folks. So what we're going to do is get this thing on the milling machine and get to work. So you'll see us on the other side. Feels like it's getting, oh yeah, I can actually see Well, we've got our pilot hole drilled, and we've got our drill for the pipe, national pipe thread. We actually had to machine this down. This is for a 1/2 inch chuck. We're using a 3/8. So nothing is ever as simple as what it should be. That just goes to show you what kind of things you have to go through in this hot rodding deal. Well guys, it's been a long day over here at DV's, but I'm still not finished. But I'm going to cut this video off because, well, you don't really need to see me assemble the heads again. But let's take a look at what we've got done. As you can see, I've got the crossover fitting threaded into the front of the head. We got the valve spring pockets relieved, and so cleaned the head, got it all spick and span. So I'm going to stay here and get these heads reassembled, but the next time you see this, they will be going on the short block. So until next time, this is Andy from Unity Motorsports Garage. I'll catch you later.